Hi guys! What's up? I'm so excited. My name is Elisa Kelly and I am the resident astrologer of Cosmopolitan magazine. I am here to answer your guys' questions about astrology. We're going to talk about love, we're going to talk about friendship, we're going to talk about career. So a few days ago, you guys posted some questions that you have for me. They were all brilliant, every single one of them. And we're going to off. Hello? Hey, okay, I'm back. So I'm going to also try to keep an eye on your comments. So definitely feel free to talk among yourself and hit me up if you have any very important queries. But I have all of your questions here. It's a lot. We're not going to read all of them, but I've selected a couple that I think are going to be applicable for everybody. So let's get started. Sorry for the siren, everybody. I'm in New York City. So someone wrote, how should an Aquarius handle an argument with a Virgo? So how should an Aquarius, one moment please. How should an Aquarius handle an argument with a Virgo? So Aquarius is the last air sign of the zodiac. Aquarius is extremely cerebral and intellectual, and it's always thinking about things in a macro sense. So Aquarius is very interested in what is happening with the people, how is the work that I'm doing affecting a larger group, how am I changing the world, how am I affecting change. So Aquarius is thinking about the macro. And Virgo, which is an earth sign, the second of the zodiac, is all about the micro. Virgo is very detail-oriented, it's extremely precise, it wants everything to be tangible and practical and rational and in their right places. So when we think about communication between these energies, communication between Aquarius, which is super cerebral, very theoretical, thinking of things in large brushstrokes, and then Virgo, which is very minute and detail-oriented and specific, they obviously are coming at a conversation from two totally different places. So my suggestion is the best thing to do in this situation is to find your common ground. Find a point of connection between Aquarius and Virgo. Both of these are extremely smart, extremely thoughtful signs. So Aquarius might be thinking about things in a broader sense. Virgo is going to be thinking about things in a more micro, more precise way. But those two energies can come together and become a whole. We need both of those in order to make things work. So just be mindful of the fact that everybody is always going to be approaching a conversation in their own unique, different way. So we have the next question. Someone wrote in, I'm a Sagittarius lady. I told my fuck buddy I had feelings for him, but nothing changed. So this is a situation. So Sag is the last fire sign of the zodiac. It is it's a wildfire. It loves to explore and philosophize and travel, and it loves to tell the truth. Sag is honestly, you just drank a very, very tall martini of truth serum. So you're letting it all go through, and you're thinking that everybody else is drinking that same drink. But chances are people are not drinking that same drink as you, Sagittarius. So even if you delivered this information and nothing has changed, it does not necessarily mean that this person that you're hooking up with does not have feelings for you. I don't want to waste your time, right? If you instinctually know that this person is never going to be more than a 2 a.m. booty call, then just don't do it, right? It's just, you have different ideas, you have different purposes, you were very brave and put yourself out there, but the way that you're aligning is not the same. So with all that being said, however, some signs, Sagittarius is not one of them, but Scorpio is one, Cancer is another, even Capricorn are not necessarily going to be as straightforward with their responses to things. So think about not just how you feel, but think about how the other person feels. What are they coming from? How do they express themselves? Are they somebody who is going to be really delivering that information quickly and following their heart? Or are they somebody who is going to take a little bit more time to mull over it and maybe is coming at this with a little bit more insecurity than you are? So something to think about is that it may not all be straightforward. Next question, how to best communicate with a Libran boy. So I see someone, Top Gun Phantom is out here saying, Libra, question mark? Here's some Libra stuff now for you. So how to best communicate with a Libran boy. Libras are a air sign, and they are represented by the scales. They are all about partnership and harmony and keeping the peace and balance. So with Libra energy, we are always trying to manage our scales. The best way to communicate with a Libra is to really appeal to their desire for harmony. So think about not just your own truth, but think about their truth. Think about who else is involved in this equation, what they're experiencing. Show this Libra that you're thinking of all of the different sides of the situation, and they're really going to appreciate it because that is how their minds work. They're always thinking about balancing. They're always thinking about maintaining different types of bonds. So there we go with Libra. Next up, who is the perfect match for a Leo girl? Well, as a Leo girl, so I actually intentionally chose this because I want to prove a point. So the point that I want to prove is that any sign can be with anyone. There is no, there's obviously like fire and fire goes well together, fire and air goes well together, water and earth goes well together, but at the end of the day, you're going to be with someone who you have a good rapport with, someone you enjoy being with, someone who sees you, who understands you, who appreciates you. It doesn't really matter what their sun sign is. It matters if they get you. So it's more important to figure out who you are as opposed to who someone else is. And that's always going to settle the equation. So in the case of Leos love to shine, they love to create community, they love to be creative, they want to be the center of attention sometimes, they want to do some IG lives, whatever. So Leos should be with someone who makes them feel good about those attributes. Leos should be with someone who makes them feel worthy of celebrating them and makes them feel excited and that they can actually be 100% who they are. This applies to all of the signs. Everyone should be with people who make them feel like who they are. Easier said than done, I know, but to me, that's my life work. I'm less concerned about Leo and Cancer, or Leo and Sag, or Leo and Pisces. I'm more interested, hey Jess, I'm more interested in actually thinking about like who are we when we are feeling like our best self. Okay, so next question. Scorpio and Taurus relationship. So after that whole rant of talking about how no two signs are actually that compatible and it's all about the person, the thing is that Scorpio and Taurus are actually in a very interesting dynamic because Scorpio is the last sign it's the water sign that's associated with death, it's associated with transformation, it's associated with release, right? It's when we are looking internally, and Taurus, which is the first earth sign of the zodiac, is very much interested in growth and harmony and life and birth and bringing things together. So Taurus and Scorpio are actually two opposites. They're two sides of the same coin. With Taurus, we have life, and with Scorpio, we have regeneration. So when Scorpio and Taurus get together, they actually are on this life and death axis. They're doing incredible things for each other to help give each other information that fertilizes that soil, that makes the plants grow, that provides a whole stream of access, a flow between life and death. And when I say death, I don't mean like the scary, scary death. I mean letting things go, transformation, evolution. So Taurus and Scorpio, I think, is one of the most interesting combinations. If you are dating someone, if you're a Taurus dating a Scorpio, or even if you in your own birth chart have Taurus and Scorpio represented, I think this is really interesting and definitely something to pay attention to. So let's keep going. Hey, Patty. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to some career questions. So, career questions. Will Libra do well this summer in terms of career? So since we already just talked about Libra and their love life, I'm going to dial this up to 11, and I'm going to tell you what the summer has in store for every single zodiac sign right now. So, Aries, for you, this is about home and family. This is about figuring out your roots. This is about grounding yourself and your infrastructure. For Taurus, we are looking at your community, for building, for hanging out with your friends, for going to good brunches, doing barbecues, thinking about different ways that you can really tap into your local community and have fun. For Gemini, this summer is about making the money. This summer is about figuring out your finances, figuring out your worth, and finding new and improved ways to be able to increase your capital. Cancer, this is a summer about your identity. This is a summer about figuring out who you are at your core and not taking any bullshit anymore from anyone. During this time, it's really important for you to start to draw the lines in the sand and create those boundaries that say, okay, this is who I was, but this is who I'm becoming. So Cancers, really step into yourself during this time. This is your summer, it's also your season, and that's going to also apply to your career too. So next up, we have Leos. Leo, this is a very important summer for self-reflection, for thinking about what situations are no longer working, what is not actually succeeding anymore in your life, what old news you can let go of, and actually releasing it. So this may mean thinking about new jobs, this may mean thinking about new relationships, this may be a step away from the systems that you've set up. Not easy, but it's really, really important work to be done. So this is what this summer is going to be about for you, Leos. Virgos, this is the time to really think about how you're going to grow your audience. Think about dissemination. How are you going to reach all the people that you want to reach? How are you going to build something that actually people like and people want to like and people are going to enjoy? They're going to consume in one way, shape, or form. So Virgos, this is really for you about figuring out how to touch all the people that you want to be addressing and attending to. So next up, we have Libra. So Libra, this is an amazing summer for your career. This is an incredible time to take big risks, do bold moves, to really step into your professional best self, to be brave. If you are going to go back to school, this is a great time to do it. This is an awesome time to figure out new ways of being able to build your legacy. So amazing stuff up ahead. For Scorpio, travel, go on adventure, get out of here. I don't want to see you. I want to see that out of office message coming through, because Scorpio, you should go on a wonderful vacation this summer because you deserve it. You've been working way too hard, and this is about resetting and expanding and doing all of that good work away from your desk. So next up, we have Sagittarius. Sag, this is an amazing time for you to get back all of those old journals, to start looking at pictures and to think about the past. To look and to consider nostalgia as not just a thing of your history, but something that will propel you forward and something that is going to, something that is going to ultimately get you to where you need to go. So one of the things as an astrologer that I think is really important is that when we want to predict the future, we're really just looking at the past. We're really just looking at old cycles and figuring out how in new circumstances those are still happening, those are still being actualized. So Sagittarius, this is the time for you to do that. For Capricorn, this is an amazing summer for your relationships. So for some of you guys, this may be romantic relationships. For some of you Capricorns, for other Capricorns, this may be about your professional relationships. This may be about your partnerships at work. This may be time to sign a contract, to work with somebody who you've been excited to work with on something for a while, but this is a really good time to do that. Next up, we have Aquarius. Aquarius, you guys are really going to be thinking about your routines and your jobs and the way that you're spending your days. This is an important summer to reflect on making sure that all of the hours that you are spending are not something that that is reflective of your values, right? We only have so many hours in the day. I've been told we have as many hours in the day as Beyonce. I'm not 100% sure if that is true, but we need to make sure that we're spending those in the best way possible. So Aquarius, this is the time for you to reflect on that. And then last but not least, we have Pisces. You guys always are so patient and wait for the end of the zodiac since you are the last sign. I admire and respect you very, very much. So Pisces, this is an amazing creative time for you. So Pisces, think about all of the amazing things that you can do creatively, all of the amazing things that you can do artistically. Step into your passions, into those projects that you have been postponing, and start to celebrate all of your most creative sensibilities. So that, my friends, is what the summer has in store for all of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Let me know what you think. Share it in the comments. Talk among yourselves. So we addressed a lot of your questions. This is an interesting one. I've had a series of bad years and nothing is working out. When will things start to look up for me? So unfortunately, I don't have this chart. This is just a question. I don't have any information that I can really apply my astrological skills in a specific way to help. But I can say that everything in astrology is about cycles. Every single thing. When we are on an up, it is part of a cycle, and when we are on a down, it is part of a cycle. It is the natural order of our flow. So, with that being said, sometimes shitty cycles are going to last longer than we want. And that's just the nature of the beast. There's never a shitty cycle that does not get followed by some amazing and exciting things. But sometimes we just need to persevere, and we need to be resilient during tough times. So astrology is one of these amazing tools that is so great at helping people get through transitions, navigating difficult moments, and figuring out how to really just make do with what situations they have at any given time in front of them. So I like to think of this as turning lemons into lemonade. If you're in a down cycle, remember that this is not going to be forever. This is temporary. This is just a passing moment. And how can you use this to help propel change? How can you use this to help make you go forward and to help you help find momentum for yourself? So another question is, how much do the stars really impact your actions? Well, it's a good question because, well, I'll answer this in a few ways. So first, I like to think about the moon. So the moon is the celestial body that we interact with very often. We know it changes its shape frequently. It moves in these 28-day cycles. The moon is controlling the tides, right? The moon controls gravity and has a huge effect on what the water on Earth is doing at any given point. Water on Earth, as we know, has a very significant role in our life. And humans are comprised of majority water. We are over 50% water. So if we know that the moon is controlling the tides, then we know that the moon has got to be affecting our physiological nature somehow. Past that, we don't really know, right? We don't know if Saturn is really the one that's causing us to look at our responsibilities, or if it's something that we just become more attuned to and we think about. And honestly, to me, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that we are using astrology to fuel introspection, to help us, to guide us, and to build empathy and compassion. When we build empathy for ourselves, we improve all of our relationships with self and other. So astrology is really about being mindful. It's about mindfulness. It's a different language for using for that. So that is why I love it. If you were born on a cusp, is there a chance you aren't actually your sign? So this is kind of a trick question, because the truth is that cusp signs do not exist. Oh, Rachel, my name is Eliza. I'm the resident astrologer at Cosmo. Nice to meet you. So cusp signs don't exist. There's no such thing as cusp signs. They're not real. They were a byproduct of a lot of non-astrologers in the 1930s writing astrology columns. you're either going to be at 29 degrees, which is the last degree of a zodiac sign, or at 0 degrees of the other. So if you were born on a day that the sun moves from one zodiac sign to the next, you need to know your time of birth to confirm whether you are one zodiac or the other. But you are absolutely, definitely a sign. You're not two signs, you're one single sign. You may have that other sign reflected in you somehow, but cusp signs don't exist. This is the takeaway. How do I find out my rising sign? So you guys may know that the chart is comprised of your date, time, and location of birth. Your rising sign is what sign is coming up in the eastern horizon at your exact moment of birth. So this is the cool thing about rising signs, is that before 1930, you were actually considered your rising sign and not your sun sign. That was more important for astrologers. So to me, that's always kind of a mic drop, because sun signs are such an important part of how we interact with astrology. But your rising sign is equally important, if not more important sometimes. So if you don't know your rising sign, be sure to check it. You can do that on astro.com. Date, time, and location of birth are the 3 ingredients you need to do that. And yeah, those are really the main questions I wanted to address, you guys. I should mention that my book just came out today. It's called Starring You, and it is a guided workbook through astrology, workshop. If you guys have any other questions, I'll stick around for a second to answer them, but I hope that this was helpful for you. I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any questions. For you guys who missed the description of what your sun sign is going to be experiencing this summer, you can watch this video in replay, and you can check back on it to see what we decided. What is in store. Let's see. Okay. Cool. That's it, guys. I think this has been great. So I hope that you guys will continue to look to Cosmo for all of your astrology content. I write the monthly horoscopes. I have a column in print called Ask Your Astrology Bestie. I am your Astrology Bestie. So keep the questions coming, and I hope to see you guys again in the future. And I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Happy Tuesday, and be well. Bye.